What is not a deal breaker, but would be greatly disappointing to find out about your partner? They run family 5Ks on Thanksgiving mornings. Sleep apnea, I know, it's not anyone's fault, let's get it sorted so we can both sleep though. My dad hates movies with subtitles. My mom is a foreign film buff. She has been trying to change him for decades. And while he'll sit through and sometimes even enjoy them on occasion, he'll still groan any time she suggests a movie with subtitles. The ultimate disappointing non-deal breaker. Edit. Okay, I'm just going to add this here before anyone else asks if my dad can read. He's an oncologist. He's not dumb. He can keep up with the subtitles and the subject matter. He just does so much reading for work, he goes through medical journals like crazy. He wants to relax with something silly and mindless. That requires zero effort on his part. He feels the same way about tearjerkers, another of my mom's favorites where people die slowly from some awful disease. He gets enough of that shit at work, but he'll occasionally sit through them for my mom. We watched the old Julia Roberts film, Dying Young, a few weeks ago where she nurse falls in love with a young guy dying of cancer, and for half the film he was just looking at my mom with an expression that clearly read, "Why the fuck would you do this to me?" In college, watched the movie Donnie Darko for the first time, and when it ended, I had so many questions and was analyzing the meaning behind it. Tried to talk to my then boyfriend and he seemed disinterested. Finally, after a half hour, he says, "Can you please stop talking about it? It's just a movie. You are just supposed to enjoy it, not analyze it." Not a deal breaker, but a huge disappointment. If they are a sock shoe person and not a sock shoe person, they go to Target and throw doormats on the floor to look at them and then just walk away and leave them on the floor. If they don't love music, this is my life. My husband doesn't care for music. I love music, but thankfully he doesn't care if I play it all the time. He just tunes it out. The ironic thing is my husband has a beautiful singing voice and a very strange ability to pick up sequences of notes he hears in anything and link it to a piece of classical music he's heard once or twice as a very small kid. He can recall song lyrics perfectly and replicate the tunes and shit perfectly after hearing a song once or twice. And I'm pretty sure he has perfect pitch, but he doesn't care enough to test it. All things utterly wasted on him. I can barely carry a tune in a bucket and I adore music. I've played multiple instruments and can read music and have been in multiple choirs. And making music is insanely difficult for me. It just isn't fair. When you plan to watch your favorite movie together at the theaters, but they already seen it with friends. If they have live, laugh, love around their home. Picky eater, they clap when the plane lands. Giving less importance to their own opinions or words. I was very disappointed to learn that my partner refused to watch black and white movies. She makes up for that in many other ways though. Not liking or wanting dog scats. Being allergic to seafood. Following lots of scantily clad influencers, liking and commenting on most of their posts. Vastly different thresholds for bathroom-related openness. My husband and I met on OkCupid 13 years ago. Back then they had you do this mess of 50 or 100 question questionnaire. And you could pick if any of the questions were extremely important, and they would show you how your match compared against your answers. My husband and I were an almost perfect match, 98, and the only thing we had strong differing viewpoints was on how often would you find it acceptable for your partner to fart in front of you. My answer was never, his answer was the Shrek quote, "Better out than in." I always say, I swear to you, 2 kids, a mortgage, 11 years of marriage, and all the life and changes that come with it, I still find this the least appealing thing about him. Everything else is pretty great. PS, yes, he loved when I was hugely pregnant and accidentally farted when I walked. My partner doesn't have an interest in most non-European ethnic foods, and I love well-made Thai, Mexican, Indian WTC. And since my ex was a literal world traveler, I've had authentic from several of those places, not the Americanized versions. I now eat some of it, so infrequently that my spice tolerance levels have actually decreased significantly. The kicker is my partner loves soups. And I know he'd love pH if he was brave enough to try it, especially since it's so customizable. I think a lot of people started writing in deal breakers instead of disappointments. The girl I'm into right now doesn't like kissing. She thinks swapping saliva is gross, which is weird because she'll swap other stuff no problem. It's not a deal breaker, but I do miss kissing.